September eves hides behind the clouds of uncertainty. She seems to be a star from another world, bright but far, near but hard to reach. So I've got to find my way to her every day again. Visible but everywhere high, and she's taking me to places I've already been. It makes me see someone else's eyes, and she's taking me to ports that I've already seen. It makes me feel like I never want to say goodbye. She's the moon in the darkest night, takes away the fear, takes away the pride. She's everything to me, she's open, I believe that all I need is a view of what surrounds us here with me. So I've got to find my way to her every day again. Visible but everywhere high, and she's taking me to places I've already been. It makes me see someone else's eyes. And she's taking me to places I've already been. It makes me see someone else's eyes. And she's taking me to places I've already been. It makes me see someone else's eyes. And she is taking me to ports that I've already seen. It makes me feel like I never want to say goodbye. Never say goodbye.
Hello, YouTube pedal people nerdies. I would say good morning, but I have no idea when you're watching this. And I would say good morning from Daddario, but I can't because on this side they didn't put a logo. Marketing-wise, not so clever, Daddario. But it holds a lot of coffee, so I love it. See, that's where the Daddario logo is. Why am I saying Daddario? First of all, because it's a cool word, Daddario. And secondly, on this guitar that we're gonna play, I just put on 10 to 46 NYXL balanced tension strings, and the first note I ever heard out of this guitar was just whoa. It might be because the guitar is just whoa. So we're looking at the Ibanez Tube Screamer Mini. Yeah, that's gonna be quick because you know what? It's a tube screamer. You know what a tube screamer is. If you don't, I'm gonna explain it to you. I'm gonna refrain from comparing it to the Maxon OD808 because I don't have it anymore. I send it back to Thomann. Or the Joyo Vintage Overdrive, or the Joyo Green Legend, or the other million tube screamers that are out there. The Mesa Boogie Grid Slammer, which is actually a really good one. But in the bottom line is they're all kind of doing the same thing. So if you might notice a difference by itself, not pushing an amp, but by itself, then most certainly once you start pushing your amp, which is really what it's for, the differences fade. So why buy this one? Well, let's check it out. Because the bottom line is going to be buy this one. So I'm pretty excited about this demo because I get to play not my, but a hatton embrace. For years, I wanted to just hold one. So this morning, the mail lady brought this. I talked to Frank Hartung, and Frank Hartung, that's a very German name. And I really want one, so we started talking. He said, you know what, before we start talking about your embrace, I'll send you mine, a beat-up gold top, the Wantage 57. And you just play it and see if this is even an instrument you're interested in. And after about 7 seconds, you know that you're interested in it. You know, it's really beat up right there. But this is about this is pretty much the nicest kind of guitar building you can possibly get. You know, I've got a Quenzel, which is amazing. I'm getting the room guitars. Isaac! And this is on that level. They all play, you know, in a league that's above some other builders. So this is as Les Pauly as it possibly as it gets. Obviously, for those of you who want to use a tube screamer with single coils, we have an LSL T-bone right there to test that as well. Tube screamer is simple. It's a kind of low gainy overdrive, which by itself sounds nice, but when it's pushing an amp, it's supposed to bring out the quality of your amp. Or when you have an amp that's kind of on breakup or, you know, crunching already, push it into lead territory. The controls are simple: level, tone, kind of to adjust to your pickups and to your amp, and gain. You know, sometimes gain, if you're really pushing the amp, for me, whatever the setting on the tube screamer is, the gain doesn't matter. Turn it on, no matter what it's set to, and it does its job. This one is very small. It's very high. It's about this high, whatever that means. It feels extremely solid and sturdy. So I'm going into the Mesa Boogie Mark V 25 right now on the clean channel. There's clean, fat, and crunch, and we're going to go through all of them, pushing it a little bit. Clean is the most open, cleanest one. Fat is a little bit fatter, as you can imagine. My explanation is just so technical. That's going down into the basement into a 112 Fender cab, mic'd with a Sennheiser E609, and that's pretty much it. Coming up here into the Universal Audio Apollo, and nothing done to it. So, we're gonna play this clean front pickup. Obviously, the guitar sounds freaking amazing because of the brand new D'Addario NYXL 10 to 46 balanced tension. And balanced tension is very cool, look it up. Just plays beautifully. But I'm thinking the amazing guitar might have something to do with it as well. It's the kind of guitar that you don't need a tube screamer for. It's the kind of guitar that when you play it clean, it makes you happy. And it literally has the longest sustain ever. It's still going. Well, okay. We're gonna see more of this, because I don't know how long Frank's gonna have to wait till he gets that back, if ever. Come and get it. So on this setting, almost all the way straight up, on the EQ, we're just gonna engage the tube screamer. It's very hard to see these little knobs. I hate that. I usually draw it in with a marker so you can see it, but I didn't. So it's all straight up right now. Does that beautifully. Come on. Just a little bit. Tiny little bit of crunch. Tiny little bit of breakup. You can already, that's what I'm trying to say. You can already hear how it's focusing on the mids. It's a mid boosty kind of a pedal. Right there in that area. Spit a little bit if you could see that. Listen. Yeah, right about there. That was a flat 9. Beautiful. With the tube screamer, you always have a feeling as if your clean guitar is still mixed in there. It's not a full blast distortion on your guitar signal. Kind of the clean sound is always in there. That's the only way I can possibly describe it. Can you hear that? I would also transcribe that maybe as a transparent overdrive. I don't know what the words are when people say stuff like that. I don't know what the words are when people say stuff like that. That makes no sense. Cryptic sayings by Henning. Well, while we're at it, let's check that out with single coils. Isn't that neat to have these Bulldog Stands here? Did I just do advertising for Bulldog Stands? You bet I did, because that's kind of nice. It's not the stand that you get when you have, a Harley Benton or something. Probably not, because the stand's twice as much as the Harley Benton. But if you're forking over the X amount of insane euro that you have to fork over for a hatton, which I now understand why people do it. The guy's got a wait list of a year and a half. You want it displayed nicely. So here's my clean sound. It's pushing it less than the hatton, of course. But the mids are just, it's creaming them like crazy. While we're at it, let's check the EQ, the tone. You might need that if your guitar is a little bit darker. Which this clearly isn't. Where am I? That's those stupid little knobs. I'm sorry, that's just, it's annoying. Why do they do that? I don't know what I'm doing. Beautiful, but I want to go back to the other one. Because that's some fat-ass tone right there. Am I spending too much time on a tube screamer? Yes, I am. Do I care? No, I don't. So, let's go back in the middle. So we're going to go to the fat channel, or the fat setting on the clean channel of the Mesa Boogie Mark 525. Let's see if you can hear the difference. Just C power chord, C sus2, of course. You know that, come on. C sus2. Of course, with the mic cable on it, that doesn't help. It pretty much does exactly what it says. Fat. Yeah, fat. gonna go in the bridge position here, crank this up, and you don't really need a lot more than that when you want to go. That's dynamic. So that thing off onto the crunch channel on the Mark 525, which sounds like a less mid-heavy version of the Tube Screamer, kind of, to me. It's a little bit more cleaned up in the mids, but generally in terms of gain, that's where we are. And gain is right now on 10. So now I can push it. And obviously push those mids again. We're gonna engage the Strymon El Capistan and have some fun. El Capistan always clean in a way, always very, you know, everything's just there. Everything's controllable. It's up to you to make it sound great. It's a tool that works. That's a tool that works. That's a tool that works. You're a tool. So work. Come on, quick to my 2 cents and I'm out of here. Hello. Well, you rarely see this wall, so you don't quite know, how many Ibanez I have. I've been playing Ibanez for 25 years now. My first guitar was an Ibanez, my second one was an Ibanez, and so on and so on. I had gems, I had all that stuff. Later on I got into other guitars, but hey, those are my babies, and the gem, the Satriani, they will always be in my collection. I've got this really, funky Frank Gambale. So Ibanez, that's been my home for many, many years. I've never had a tube screamer. I never had a TS 808, and what else is there? There's so many. There's the hand-wired, hard-wired. There's the Nidodyne with more gain. I don't know I have no idea about them, so I might just be talking total bullshit. Point is, at some point, we all need a tube screamer. You have some kind of amp, you want to push it a little bit more, you want to get that nicely focused mid-spectrum for your soloing. Can you see that? It's so tiny. You want a tube screamer. Now, why do you want this one? Well, first of all, it's, $80 or something? So it's definitely under 100. Let's put it this way. It's any given point in time, it's going to be under $100. It does exactly what the tube screamer does. So why buy one for over 100 from Ibanez or Maxon or anyone else? But let's put it this way. Maybe you already have one. You don't need this, unless you want a small one. So if you're in the market for a small size tube screamer, question is, why buy more? Joyo, whoever. They are price-wise similar enough to this that you might as well go to, the source. You might as well go to Ibanez. Look at this thing. It's very sturdy. It feels valuable, feels high quality. It's got the official look. The thing that bugs me a little bit is these two big knobs. The two small knobs. First of all, no lines on them. Extremely annoying. There are other options, and I'm going to show the competitor. I'm sorry. Sorry, Ibanez. I'm going to show the Green Legend. See this? I can very, very clearly see the settings. And from there, you can see the lines on this. You cannot see the lines on this. This is even a little bit smaller. If we compared them, sound would be very similar. Just for peace of mind, I would possibly go for this. I don't like these mini knobs without the lines, and they're also very flimsy. You can easily misadjust them, or just any cable might come at them, and all of a sudden they have a different setting. So these should be a little bit harder going, let's put it this way. The big one's fine, but these are like, boop, and all of a sudden you get a different setting. And you might not notice it. You might not notice all of a sudden in a live situation that by accident, when you moved your board around, your level went all the way down because there's no line on it. Other than that, obviously it doesn't take a battery, only 9 volt, which is on the top, that's fine. The ins and outs are at different heights, which is fine. It's a great pedal. I don't think you need a different tube screamer. If you want a tube screamer, for me right now, go to the source, go to Ibanez, get the small one. That would be my recommended tube screamer at the moment. Unless, I have to say this, unless, and I can't tell you exactly why, unless you're willing to spend a lot more money, about $100 more, and then you can go for the Grid Slammer by Mesa Boogie. Now you ask me why. It's very difficult. They're all so incredibly similar. They're all pretty much tube screamers. The Mesa Grid Slammer feels as if it's a little bit tighter. The attack feels a little bit more punchy. I mean, we're talking nuances here. We're talking $100 more and bigger. Also, it says Mesa on it. That's cool. But I have to say, for traditional tube screamer, this, for, a tiny, tiny variation, right now, to push an amp, I grab the Grid Slammer. What I use at any given point in time changes, but this is pretty cool. For anyone who needs a traditional green pedal, highly recommend it, really, highly recommend it. I'm gonna play more with the hatton and myself and stuff, and I will see you in the next demo.